Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's episode we're going to be painting the interior of a Porsche Boxster. It's going to be a charcoal gray with a matte clear, which means it's not going to be shiny when it dries. The outside of the car will not be painted because it's going to be wrapped, and this vehicle is a sister vehicle to another car, which means it's going to be almost identical except for some few subtle differences like the wheel colors and the maybe the roll bar and the mirror covers. Just something a little bit subtle difference between the two. And I do have some footage of me riding in the sister car. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so we got the chassis already painted. It's been drying overnight, so it's pretty dry. It's still not 100% dry, so the sheen on it is still a little bit more than it normally is. It's right now I would call it more of a satin than a matte. But it will dull out a little bit more when it dries the rest of the way. We're going to get this thing untaped and get it out of the booth, and then we'll be able to put the rest of the parts in here, like the doors and the hood and the deck lid, a couple of smaller pieces, and get them painted and jammed out. So we'll get right on that now. Here we go. Alright, so here are the parts for the Boxster. We've got the fenders. We'll just be painting the inside edge and the back edge between the fender and the door. The inside of the doors, inside this pocket, and also the outside, the inside jamb. Same with that door. The deck lid and the hood. Now, all this stuff has already been scuffed with a red pad, a red Scotch-Brite, and also 320 with either a DA on the flat areas or just hand sanded with 320. So all that's left to do now is to wipe it down and start putting some paint on it. So here we go. So when I'm painting parts like this door here, here's my paint gun. This knob right here controls the fan. And what the fan is, basically how wide your spray is. So it opens it up or closes it, depending on which way you turn this knob. So when I'm painting on this door, especially on the inside the pocket here, if the fan's real wide and you spray it and you can't get the right angle on it, it's going to be heavier on the top edge than it will be on the bottom edge, and it'll cause it to run or be dry sprayed. So what I like to do is turn the fan down to what I call bullet, which basically makes the fan really short, really small, and you have to get further away from the panel. You have to pull back, but you can spray a fine fan pattern in the edges where you can't get to, where you can't fit the whole gun down inside there. So that's how you get it covered inside there where you can't actually fit the gun. Now, whenever you turn the gun on bullet, or when you turn the fan down really small, you better be backed up. You better be further away from the panel because it'll pile that material on if you're close, and you will run it. So the first thing we're going to be putting on is the Shopline epoxy primer. And we're using a black because it's a little bit easier to cover with the dark charcoal metallic. This is a 2-to-1 product, 2 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and it also you can spray it as a wet-on-wet sealer, and that's what I'll be doing on these parts. The thing I like to do when I'm spraying it as a wet-on-wet sealer, I like to put some reducer in it. It doesn't call for any reducer, so I put some reducer in it, probably 20, maybe 30%. It thins down the product and makes it spray a little bit smoother. And this product only calls for 1 coat. You can put 2 if you need to, but 1 coat should do the trick. Next thing is going to be the Shopline base coat. This is the JB, and it's a 1-to-1 product, so it's 1 part base coat, 1 part reducer, and this will take 4 coats, or as many coats as it takes to coverage, but I've already sprayed some on the car, so 4 coats did the job. It's covered pretty well. So this is the clear coat we're going to be using. It is a matte clear, and it's called High Tech. This is a 6-to-1 product, so it's 6 part clear coat, 1 part hardener, and it calls for no reducer. Now, since this is a matte clear, it dries back with no gloss. You see this little thing here says shake well before use. You really do need to shake it or stir it really well. I've actually got a stirring lid on it, so I put it on the mixer and stir it up really well. But this is a 2-coat product also, so basically just 1 wet coat and then another wet coat. It'll be shiny while it's drying, but as it dries down matte. Alright, so we're going to take the blower and blow all these parts off really well, try to get all the dust off them. Then I'll break out the tack rag, tack everything off. and then I'll be spraying the epoxy sealer. It's actually an epoxy primer, but with a reducer we're using as a wet-on-wet sealer. I do like the epoxy because the adhesion qualities of it are very good. It actually sticks really well, so I don't have to worry about something peeling. And it does really well over any bare metal that I have. Alright, next thing is spraying some base coat on. Now we will be putting 4 coats on here. I'm only going to show you maybe 1 or 2, so 4 coats to coverage with this color over the black. And the last coat is going to be the matte clear. I'll only show 1 of these, but we do put 2 coats of this matte clear on. Spray it on just like regular clear. It sprays on shiny, but as it dries, it dulls out. Alright, so we've got the parts painted, the car is painted, everything's dried, we've already got it loaded up on the trailer. We're going to haul it over to the shop, and from what I'm told, the sister cars, they're taking some test drives, and he offered to give me a ride in the sister car to the car we're dropping off. So let's go do that. Sounds like a lot of fun. So this is the sister car. It's pretty much the same exact car, except for it's going to have the green accents instead of the orange. It'll be wrapped in the same charcoal gray matte finished wrap, and I think everything else will be the same on this car. So let's see if we can go for a ride in this thing.
I would never jump in front of a speeding bullet for someone, because the way I look at it, if I got time to jump, they got time to get out of the way.
Alright, so that's going to be about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, hit that like button. Also comment and share with anyone you think might like this content. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, also that bell notification, and it'll let you know when the new videos come out, and you won't miss anything. So that's about it. We'll see you guys on the next one. See ya!